I just blow up my child's life because I couldn't handle things? She wondered, was it really that bad? Did she overreact? These are the questions that haunt so many survivors after they leave the narcissist. They have questions that just keep them awake at night, the questions that make them doubt the truth that they have been living. This is Annie's story, and I'm telling it for her. It had been months since Annie left Santino, months since she packed a bag for herself and her daughter and drove away to start their life all over again. Months since they'd been trying to rebuild a life that just didn't even feel like hers anymore. And yet, every time she sat alone after putting her little girl to bed, the same thought kept creeping in her mind. Maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe she did make a mistake. Maybe I blew up everything because I just wasn't strong enough to handle it. Because that's what her husband would tell her over and over. You're too sensitive. You make everything a big deal. Nobody else would put up with you, is what he would say. You know, even after leaving, those words clung to her skin. People on the outside didn't help her. They'd say, he never hit you, right? So how bad could it even have been? They'd tell her, kids need both parents, but she should try to work it out. That maybe her husband was right, that she's just overreacting. Thing of it is they didn't see what was going on inside their house. The nights that Annie would tiptoe through her home, afraid to wake up the man who claimed he loved her so much. They didn't see the humiliation, the constant control, the fear that stole her voice. And that happened long before she ever left. Those other people, they didn't see how every day was a calculation of what might set him off. Of course, it didn't leave bruises. Problem is it left scars that no one could see. If you've ever had to convince yourself it was bad enough to leave, I want you to know that you're not alone. The world has a way of minimizing what you lived through and minimizing the narcissist's voice, because their voice doesn't just fade away when you walk away. It somehow echoes in your mind still. Survivors are often left holding the weight of the proof, as if freedom has to be justified, as if survival requires a witness. But only you know the truth of what happened behind closed doors. Only you know what it costs you just to breathe in that relationship. And so here's what I want you to hear. You didn't ruin your life, and you didn't ruin your child's life either. I believed you saved it. This one is for every survivor who's ever sat in the dark wondering if they imagined it all, wondering if leaving was a mistake. The doubt is, I guess, the shadow that the narcissist leaves behind, but it is not the truth. The truth is you were hurt. The truth is you broke the cycle that would have swallowed you whole. So tonight, if you're still asking yourself those questions, let me answer them for you. Yes, it was that bad. And no, you didn't overreact. And yes, you did the right thing. For those of you new to my podcast, I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney, author of Undercurrent, and the host of the Are You Annie podcast. You know, Annie is so much more than just a character in my book. She's a reflection of every man, every woman who ever had to endure narcissistic abuse. I think her story gives us a window into what kind of trauma it is that's being suffered and what it looks like and feels like. And it's the reason that this podcast exists. But the real reason we're here, the reason this community is growing, and it's growing stronger every day, is you. Your truth, your courage, your willingness to listen, and your willingness to share in the comments your story. It's you that makes this place a space for understanding and healing. And as always, I want you to never forget that you are stronger than you ever believed, that you are a warrior against narcissistic abuse. I want you to continue to be tenacious and never, ever give up in yourself and what you believe in and in your dreams. Until next time, I honor your truth. You are not alone. And I know that you are here and staying until the end. And I thank you for that. I will see you very soon in the next episode. Bye.